Hi, I'm Brandon Laatsch, and I'm here at E3 talking about Control VR. I am the director of the VR initiative for purposing Control VR for VR implementations. So what you're seeing right now is you're seeing him. It's a 19-sensor inertial system, starting with the root of the chest. It's using forward kinematics to chain together a chest sensor, two upper arm sensors, two sensors on his forearms, and then one sensor in the back of each hand, two in each thumb, and one on each finger. So 19 total sensors that are creating one forward kinematic chain to recreate his motion for his entire upper body. We're assuming a stationary pelvis, and so actually, even despite the fact that we're using the Oculus DK1, we still have 6 degrees of freedom for the head as well. If he holds his hand up, hold your hand up in front of your face for us. Awesome, there. You can see that the presence that we create is the humans. As humans, we have a very intimate connection with our hands. We see our hands every single day. Almost every single time you grab something, you're looking at your hands as you're doing that, and so you see exactly how your hands function. And so by reintroducing that to gaming, we're able to see our hands and really feel the full immersion as we go in there. One of the number one things that we wanted to show at E3 is we wanted to make sure that we had a multiplayer demo. Currently, he's the only one on the moon, but most often we have a second person in there, and the real breakthrough that we found was when we could have two people stop and look at each other. They stop and they kind of freeze, and they're like, wait, is that another person? And he'd wave to that person, and that person waves back, and suddenly we can see that the social interaction really is. There's been studies that have said that 93% of communication is nonverbal, and so really by reintroducing that to gaming, we intend to slow down the pace of gaming and let people have true social interaction where they're able to talk, look at each other, gesture, and move. Like ideally, we can have 4 people in the game that are all of the exact same character model, yet you could identify which friend is which just because you know their mannerisms and their gestures and how they express themselves. This moon demo was developed over the last 7 days. This one's 7 days old, and so we wanted to, it's kind of a last minute idea where we're like, you know what, if we're taking people into virtual reality, if we're showing them themselves in virtual reality for the first time, what better place to take it than to the moon? Have you tried the buttons on your arms yet? So on the back of your left forearm, if you turn and look at the back of your left forearm, left hand, other left, there we go. And you see those buttons? The first and the third, one will play a song for you, and one will shoot tennis balls out of your arm. Because why not? We're on the moon. Everyone wants to go and throw balls around the moon with low gravity. Look at that. There, play yourself some music with a... Oh, you don't have headphones on right now. Pop a headphones on for him. Let him have the full Tiny Tim experience. There you go. So the sensors that he's using are using a combination of accelerometers, gyroscopes, as well as magnetometers. And the third one is key, because most inertial sensors have accelerometers and gyroscopes, but by including magnetometers, we're able to eliminate all drift by having them as long as the world doesn't tilt on its axis and as long as north doesn't move, these sensors will be able to keep themselves calibrated. So even if they get off due to magnetic interference, they'll go right back as soon as the magnetic interference is gone. And so it's a really interesting technology. All right, there we have a second player in there right now. Go up and give him a high five or something. Shoot tennis balls at his face. For the first time, you know that when you hit him, he sees it. He's waving all friendly. You wave at him, and fire. Awesome. Excellent. So as VR continues to go, now we have the head-mounted display, so we get true first-person perspective with a wide field of view. We have our hands inside the game. The next frontier would be tactile feedback, and beyond that, just better. Really, at that point, it's all, in my opinion, it's all in software. It's all how do we better process sound so we sound like we're there. How do we insist as gamers that we have better microphones, and so we're able to communicate and sound clearly and basically process it so we sound like we sound in a forest or in a densely packed building, an echoey cave, etc. But really, by taking the control in there and getting that in the hands of developers, now people can truly, it really opens up the possibilities for what you can do. If you take a look at his gloves, you can see that it is an open palm design. We wanted to make sure that our controller didn't take the place of other controllers. By having open hands, he's able to interact with the mouse. As you can see right now, he's using a Wii nunchuck to move around. You can use a keyboard. Ideally, we want to introduce a third control input for the PC rather than replacing the other two. So right now we are actually live with a Kickstarter campaign. We are 5 days in. We reached our funding goal, but you can still pre-order Control VR via the Kickstarter for the next 25 days. It is $600 for the 2-arm system right now for the dev kit. It'll come with the SDK, it'll come with Unreal and Unity integration, as well as, of course, the 2-arm system. Or alternately, you could get a 1-arm system for $350, which will still let you develop and experience Control VR. Alternate purposes for this technology beyond just VR is we can also do, for the first time, it's a home motion capture system, where you basically from your chest down to your fingertips, you can motion capture animations, whether it's for game development or for film or for VFX animation. So basically, instead of having to spend all the time going to the mocap studio, you can actually work at your desk, wear the system while you're at your desk, grab the motion capture when you need it, go to tweaking it. If you need to re-motion capture or extend the motion capture, go right back into motion capture, switch back and forth with much fluidity. By taking this technology from the price range of $20,000 down to $600, we really want to open it up for indie game studios to finally have proper motion capture, just like the big studios.